Salutations, podcast listeners. I'm Lynn Hickernell, podcast producer and board member at Kids Listen, a nonprofit organization advocating for great children's podcasts. Because summer is a great time to try out new things, we thought you might enjoy trying out a selection of different Kids Listen member podcasts. This episode features small tastes of shows to pique your curiosity, stretch your imagination, tickle your funny bone, and help you find calm. Enjoy this 2023 Kids Listen Summer Sampler.
Hey, Tailblazers, I'm Rebecca Cunningham, and this is Girl Tales, a kids' podcast of feminist stories for a new generation. Do you ever wonder what would happen if Cinderella started her own rock band, or if Medusa realized just how cool her hair was? Girl Tales takes classic stories and puts a unique twist on them, giving girls the chance to save the day, use their intelligence and bravery, and show that they can be the heroes of their own stories. So, if you're ready for an adventure, find Girl Tales wherever you get your podcasts. Here's a sample of one of our stories, Reimagining Robin Hood. Enjoy! I'd like to tell you about a friend of mine. A traveling Renaissance fair came to Freshwater, and I was so excited. There were acrobats and jugglers, fire breathers and knights riding horses, music and dancing in beautiful creative costumes, a royal parade, and my personal favorite, the wandering storyteller. A beautifully hand-painted sign hung on the outside of her caravan. It read, "Fireside Stories at Sundown, the many adventures of young Robin Hood." The wandering storyteller waited until the sun had slipped away below the peaks of the tall pine trees to the west. She stood beside a crackling campfire, the flames dancing joyfully in the growing darkness, and greeted us.
Come, my friends, join me, please. Who's feeling brave? A front row seat. The time has come to part the eaves and share a tale of daring deeds.
Once we had gathered in a crowd abuzz with excitement and curiosity, the wandering storyteller began to weave her tale.
One of the joys of being a human is sharing our stories, which also illuminate values and morals that help us make choices. How do we choose to use the power of our voices? We begin our tale with the greedy King John, who is new to the throne, hasn't sat on it long. His big bro, King Richard, left Johnny the crown, rode off toward adventure. No one's seen him around. While King Richard was smart, good with people, and fair, King John thought that he deserved more than his share. Picture the new king up early at dawn. He speaks to Nottingham, his crooked sheriff, alone.
More gold, more coins, more goods. My royal bank vault must be filled to the rafters by the next full moon.
My king, I have a solution. Pass a new law, a royal tax. Calling it tax is a wise thing to do. When you make the laws, make them work best for you. Tax means we take part of each thing that they earn. They'll be left with mere scraps, but that's not our concern. The sheriff to the king did bow, and then let slip a wicked laugh. And every home throughout the land was forced to gather and forfeit half their money, clothing, toys, and food. The people cried, "You can't intrude and steal the clothes right off our backs," said Nottingham. "I'm the sheriff. I'm in power. Pay the royal tax. If any one of you dares to disobey, I'll lock you up and throw the keys away." Feelings of fear spread like a sinking fog across the kingdom. The townsfolk whispered worries to one another. There won't be enough food. We have no money to buy wool for warm clothing or boots. Our children's toes will be freezing when winter comes again. However, piercing through the grim veil of fear and darkness, there was a shining ray of hope. Stories were spreading from fireplaces to farmers' fields that someone had bravely stood up to the sheriff and refused to pay the new royal tax. Someone had rallied a group of young, talented townsfolk and called them to a life of virtuous, ethical banditry in Sherwood Forest. The group had named itself the Happy Hoodlums and was determined to steal back everything the king and the sheriff unjustly had.
It's the book club for kids. The book club for kids.
It's the book club for kids.
It's the book club for kids podcast.
Hi, I'm Kitty Feldy. We all need a little humor in our life, and this week's book is just what the doctor ordered. It's Cody and the Mysteries of the Universe by Tricia Springstub. Cody is a bit of a busybody, and our readers at Randall Elementary School in Washington, D.C. think they know why.
I would say people act like this because they just need to be involved in something, like they don't really have that much going on for them right now, so they might want to stick their nose in somebody else's business so they can just be a part of something.
But Cody has a good heart.
I came to introduce my best friend, Spencer. He's really smart, Cody said. He takes forever to make up his mind, but it's worth it.
That's our celebrity reader, actress Peggy Miley. Our writer, Tricia Springstub, says she's nothing like Cody.
I'm a real, scaredy cat. I don't like scary movies. I never go on roller coasters.
This is the Book Club for Kids, the show where kids talk about books. We'll tell you how you can be on the show a little later on, but first, let's meet our readers.
Hello, my name is Amina. Hello, my name is Dominique.
Hello, my name is Carter, and we're all in 5th grade, and we're from Randall Highlands Elementary School in Washington, D.C.
The name of the book is Cody and the Mystery of the Universe.
This book is about a girl named Cody and her best friend Spencer going through school and getting bullied and how their friendship was at stake, but they somehow found a way to fix it.
In the beginning, they were talking more about the characters, like Spencer. He liked to play violin, and Cody loved listening to his music. And in the second part of the book, it was more about how their relationship was at stake, and Pearl got in the way,
which is Cody's best friend from school. And then at the end, there was these 2 girls named Maxie and Molly. They were the bullies of the school.
Let's talk about Cody. Cody is an odd character.
She really wants to guide Spencer throughout his life because he's a new student at school, and she doesn't think that he'll be able to do things on his own, but she comes to a realization when Spencer is doing just fine by himself.
What kind of person is Cody? How would you describe her?
I think that she is brave, and she's very motherlike because she wants to guide Spencer.
I would say Cody is very outgoing and straightforward.
What gets her in trouble?
I would say she doesn't really know how to control herself in situations, so she kind of blurts out, which gets her into a lot of trouble.
What gets her into trouble is when she gets into something that doesn't involve her, and sometimes that gets her in trouble when she's minding other people's business.
She doesn't really have business of her own, so she just wants to be a part of everybody else's business.
Why do we think people act like this sometimes?
Because they have nothing to do, so they just want to ruin stuff for other people. Some people, they just if their day is not going good, they try to make somebody else feel down for what they do.
I would say people act like this because they just need to be involved in something, like they don't really have that much going on for them right now, so they might want to stick their nose in somebody else's business so they can just be a part of something.
Would you guys like to ask our writer, Tricia Springstub, a few questions?
Have you ever been in a relationship like Cody and Spencer's?
That's a really interesting question. Cynthia Moss. And she used to have comic books. And my mother never bought, we were not allowed to buy comic books, so I would go over to Cynthia's house and read all the comic books.
When you were little, did you ever get bullied before by someone and it made you want to write this book?
I am very fortunate. I have rarely experienced bullying, and never anything more teasing than bullying. I've never been afraid of other kids the way Cody and Spencer are scared of the means, even though the means turn out to be not too threatening after all. But I have seen it plenty of times in children, my own children's friends, and in schools that I visit, and it is a real issue, and it's a heartbreaking one.
And that's just a taste of the Book Club for Kids podcast. We hope you'll tune in.
Hello, I'm Noah, and this is Like You, a mindfulness podcast for kids. I'm glad you're here. Today we'll use mindfulness and imagination to practice magic. Find a place to listen where you feel comfortable and safe. You're not only a listener, but a thinker, a speaker, and an important part of this podcast. So I hope you'll answer questions aloud and participate in our activities. Of course, if you'd rather just think your answers quietly in your head, that's okay too. Now, are you ready to make some mindful magic? We'll start with a levitation breathing exercise. Levitation means making a person float off the ground. As we breathe, we'll imagine you are floating. Each deep breath in will lift you up into the air. We'll hold our breath for a few seconds as we imagine floating. Then, as we breathe out, we'll float slowly back down for a gentle landing. So start by sitting where you feel comfortable. Now, close your eyes. Clear your mind. Try not to think of anything at all. Relax and feel your breath slowly going in and out. Now quietly whisper, "I am magic." Can you feel the magic growing inside you? Now, as you take a long, deep breath in, imagine that breath lifting you up off your seat so you're floating in the air. Hold that breath as you levitate in midair. 1, 2, 3. Now slowly breathe out and feel yourself drifting down, 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 so you're sitting in your seat once again. You did it! That was fun. Let's try levitating again. Imagine that the longer and deeper of a breath you take, the higher you can float. So try taking your very deepest breath. Deep breath in, floating up. 1, 2, 3. Now hold that breath as you float in the air. 1, 2, 3. And a long breath out as you drift safely back down. 1, 2, 3. One last time. Take a long, deep breath in as you float higher and higher in the air. Hold the breath and imagine looking down at the world around you. Then release your breath as you slowly float back down to earth. Now, on the count of 3, we'll all say, "I like me." 1, 2, 3. I like me. I like you too. You are full of wonderful, mysterious magic, and you make the world a better place when you share your magic with others. Now let's wind down by saying a few affirmations. Affirmations are words you can say about yourself to remind yourself how wonderful you are. I'll say each affirmation twice so you can listen the first time and say it together with me the second time. Here we go. I choose my attitude. I choose my attitude. I make good choices. I make good choices. I'm proud of who I am. I'm proud of who I am. I share my magic with the world. I share my magic with the world. I can't wait to spend some time together again soon. Until then, I like you, I'm proud of you, and I'm glad we are friends. Have a happy and peaceful day.
I am magic, you are magic, we are magic, don't forget it. I am magic, you are magic.
I won't visit Dogland and run with the power pups.
Hello, I'm Phoebe, and this is
Hank.
And together we write about super amazing dogs on a planet called
Dogland!
Power Dog did a barrel roll the rest of the way off the dance floor and into the sidelines, where he could smell delicious, fresh, hot pizzas coming out of the oven on the other side of the video arcade at what was now his most favorite place on all of Dogland, Intergalactic Pizza Party. Oh, have you, dear listeners, not heard of Intergalactic Pizza Party? Well, it's right at the vibrant center of downtown Lictopolis, the capital city of Dogland. They have a lot of space-themed fun. They very famously serve garbage-flavored pizza. Sure, that's gross here on Earth, but let me tell you, it's considered delicious on Dogland. And they also serve their famous frosting pizza that comes in any dessert flavor dogs love. Did you know that even here on Earth, dogs can taste and like sweet things? Not all animals can. Cats cannot taste sweet things. And that's not just your cute, fluffy house cat, but also big cats like lions and tigers. Another word for all types of cats is felines. And felines' taste receptors simply cannot detect sweet. Now, both humans and dogs can taste sweet, sour, salty, spicy, and bitter. Although dogs do like the taste of sweet foods, they much prefer that meatier flavor and taste. That flavor is more and more often called umami, which is a really fun word to say. Can you say it with me? Umami. Umami.
Umami.
On Dogland, they love this umami flavor, and the young pups love it combined with sweet flavors. Power Dog loves a sweet and meaty flavor combo that might resemble a vanilla strawberry birthday cake with hot dogs mixed up inside it flavor. And Tuffy loves a kind of, you're gonna think this is gross, but it's not to him, a caramel, mushroom, and wet dirt flavor. I know, you're probably thinking, what? Ew. But think about how happy your dog would probably be with that. I think there's even a dead stuff at the beach and vanilla ice cream mix on this menu. At the back of Intergalactic Pizza Party, beyond the crazy space-themed pizza parlor, there's a bonkers awesome video arcade with all the coolest, latest, and most physical video games you could ever imagine. There's a lot of space-themed games, of course, flying and driving games, jumping games, throwing and catching games. I mean, we're talking about dogs here. And at the very back of the arcade, right before you get to the dazzling dance floor, there are dancing games. It was very popular and looked like a constant party, living up to the name Intergalactic Pizza Party. Umami's a fun word.
Yeah. Say it with me.
Umami.
Yeah, there we go.
That's good. Thanks, Hank. Okay, ready for some jokes?
We.
All right. What is a dog's favorite pizza flavor?
What?
Pepperoni.
Pepperoni.
Okay, you want another one?
Mm-hmm.
Why did the dog have a hard time learning to dance?
Why?
Because he had 2 left feet.
Adventures of Power Dog in Dogland.
Hello, I'm Elise Parisian, the host of Unspookable. Unspookable is a family-friendly look at the histories and mysteries behind your favorite scary stories, myths, and urban legends. Each week, along with some help from our child contributors, discuss such topics as Bloody Mary, Charlie Charlie, and Ouija boards to find the stories behind the scares. And important to note that we typically recommend the show for children 8 and up. Now, on to the episode.
Soundsington Media!
It's the middle of the night. Dead silent, except for the soft sounds that fill a building during the small hours. A faint echoing in the vents. A whisper of footsteps on the linoleum, resounding from earlier in the day when the restaurant was a cacophony of customers. The rustling of an animal in the alley out back. And your own heartbeat. Your own heavy breathing as you watch grainy security cameras. Hand ready to throw the switch at any time. You wait. You are almost out of power. You can wait just a little longer, right? A breath. A moment. And then, just when you let your guard down, bam! A figure appears in the doorway, and it is too late. A scream, and you're done. You already know who it is, who has been stalking you throughout the night. Freddy Fazbear, the animatronic from the runaway hit game, Five Nights at Freddy's. Whether you're a devotee of the games or have never heard of them, we'll head into the depths of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to figure out just what makes this creepy game tick, and why so many of us are obsessed with it. I'm Elise Parisian, and this is Unspookable.
I've played Five Nights at Freddy's, but I haven't played in a few years.
I have not personally played Five Nights at Freddy's, but I've definitely heard a lot about it and wanted to play it, but I always got way too scared because it's a horror game.
When you're playing Five Nights at Freddy's, you get a job working there, and then you have to watch the animatronics at night to make sure that they don't try to pull anything silly. And then, you can watch them on cameras to see what they do, but you have to make sure they don't get to you before you can stop them.
And it takes place in just a normal pizzeria with these crazy animatronics that are trying to get you, which ties to Chuck E. Cheese, which freaks me out and just makes me not want to play because I still want to enjoy places like that.
I think that Five Nights at Freddy's is scary if you're younger, but as I got older, I realized it was just all jump scares, and they're really predictable if you're, aware of what you're doing.
Yo, 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 listeners! It's your girl Melly from Stoop Kid Stories podcast, and I am so excited to share a clip of one of my episodes with you all. So, this episode is called McKinley's Mistake, and it's about what happens when you make a big mistake and how you bounce back from it. So, enjoy, and if you want to hear more, you can find Stoop Kid Stories wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. All right, let's go! Peach, guess what? She asked. Let me see. You finally told Zay that you have a crush on him? Peach asked. No. And I do not have a crush on him. I just think that he wears nice sneakers and his haircut is always crispy. So I just feel the need to tell him, and then I awkwardly smile at him when he walks away. But anyways, that's not what I was going to say. Remember the all-class party idea I told you all about? Well, it's happening! Hey! Yeah! Hey! Oh my goodness, McKinley, that's so lit. Can we come and crash the party? Peach asked. No, it's for my class only. But I'll show you all the pictures and videos afterwards, McKinley responded. Fine. But nah, that's really cool. That's really cool. When's the party gonna be? Peach asked. I'm thinking maybe sometime at the end of the month. You know, since we just came back from winter break, it would be great to have something to kick off the second half of the school year. These winter months can be such a drag, McKinley said. Tell me about it. Spring can't come soon enough. Peach! Cookie yelled from the distance. All right, Mickey girl, I gotta run, but I'm super excited about your party. I'll see you later, Peach said as she ran off. Thanks. Bye. Bye, Cookie, McKinley yelled, and she finished her walk home. She went right upstairs to her room and sat down in front of her computer and started planning. She picked out the theme, which was going to be Cartoon City, and everyone had the choice to come dressed as their favorite cartoon character. She picked out the decorations and her list of snacks and beverages and came up with an amazing dance playlist to jam out to. This party was about to be everything. She made a copy of the flyer and emailed it to her teacher to print out the next morning so she could hang them up all over school. McKinley was very content with her planning, so she fell blissfully to sleep. The next couple of days, everyone in her class was super hype about this party, and that's all they could talk about. McKinley was so happy that everyone was excited, but she also felt a lot of pressure to make sure that everything was perfect. The days went by, and she worked super hard to make sure that everything was in order. She could not mess this up. One Saturday evening, McKinley was sleeping soundly in her bed for a much-needed nap, and her phone started to ring. She looked over at it and saw that it was her friend Hazel calling her, and she decided to ignore it and just call her back later. Then her phone rang again, and she saw it was her friend Tati calling. She ignored her too and turned the ringer off. Then Kiki called. Then after that, Antonio called. Then after that, Amira called. And then after that, she saw that her crush Zay was calling. So this time she answered the phone. Hello? Oh, hey Zay, what's going on? There's a line outside of the school right now? For what? Zay, the party isn't until next week. What? No, I didn't. I put the wrong date. Oh, hang on.
Hey there, this is Chanel from Peace Out Podcast. What helps you when you're upset or stressed out? On Peace Out, we talk about superheroes, constellations, and sea bunnies while we do calming breathing exercises inspired by yoga and mindfulness meditation. Listen to Peace Out before bed, when you need a break, or anytime in between. Check us out at peaceoutpodcast.com.
Peace out. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out and peace within. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out. Peace out and peace within.
What if world? This is What If World.
Hey there, folks, and welcome back to What If World, the show where your questions and ideas inspire off-the-cuff stories. I'm Mr. Eric, your host, and today we're bringing you a Kids Listen Summer Sampler. That's right, we're gonna get some mini episodes to kick your summer off right from some of the best kids podcasts out there. And in the spirit of sampling summer, we're going to sample several what if questions for you. First, we've got a write-in from Avery who asks, what if JF Cat and Fred the dog met a friendly sea serpent named Shauna that taught them how to swim? Then we had a patron named CJ who asked, what if everything that rhymed was true? And finally, we have this wonderful little question from Catalea.
My name is Catalea. I'm 8 years old. My What If World question is, what if dinosaurs had mermaid tails? Thank you, bye.
So let's find out. What if dinosaurs had mermaid tails? What if everything that rhymed was true? And what if JF Cat and Fred the dog met a friendly sea serpent named Shauna that taught them how to swim? Whew. JF Cat and Fred the dog were having a lovely summer day at the beach.
Boy, I don't know how to swim. I wish someone would teach me,
said Fred the dog, clearly interrupting my narrative flow.
And then you were going to say how I'm Fred the dog whose tongue is too long for his mouth, which is why my voice sounds this way.
We've heard it all before. Oh, hi, Jojo. That's Jojo Fluffy Cat to you, aka JF Cat. Sure, yes, I was gonna tell the story then, if that's okay.
Oh, yay! It's Shauna the sea serpent. She can teach us how to swim.
And as Freddy spoke, an 80-foot-long sea serpent reared its giant head from the ocean, her hair a beautiful mess of frothy seaweed, her eyes a piercing yellow.
Okay, class, today we're not going to wait for Mr. Eric's narration,
said Shauna Sea Serpent.
Instead, we're all going to jump right in the ocean and practice.
But I'm a cat. It's well established I don't like swimming.
Most people who don't like swimming simply haven't practiced enough.
Exactly, because I don't like it.
It's like she's not even listening.
But reluctantly, Fred the dog and JF Cat jumped in the ocean.
Hey, I wasn't finished complaining.
Yeah, but we gotta keep this story moving, remember? Using our own logic against us. Yeah, well, I'm impressed. Shauna Sea Serpent had a class full of reluctant animals and wizards and witches and warlocks, and even a few people. But there was one dinosaur on the beach who hadn't joined them in the water.
Yeah, give it up for Q-Rex. I don't go in the water. 'Cause now that I'm big, I've got a lot smarter. I don't need to swim to prove something to ya. I'm just gonna rhyme and then say a booyah. Suit yourself,
said Shauna Sea Serpent, who had people and creatures hanging from all 80 feet of her fins, and wasn't really pushing to have a T-Rex join. And so it was that Q-Rex was left alone on the beach to build sandcastles and stomp around and spook a few seagulls, as the trepidatious crew of What If World characters seemed to be having more fun with Shauna Sea Serpent, and seemed to be getting more confident with their swimming as they practiced.
It doesn't take a wizard to see that swimming is easy.
Did you say Zizi? No, honey, he's just bragging.
Did you say dragon?
No, Dracomax, she's just clarifying.
Randall Radbot, are you afraid of flying?
I'm not teaching flying this week.
Did somebody say we're playing hide and seek?
And as the detective Alabaster Zero said hide and seek, suddenly he and all the other swimmers disappeared.
Which is a shame, because Mr. Eric didn't get to describe the jean jacket and cut-off shorts that I'm wearing as a bathing suit.
I think I had a chance to describe it and chose not to, but can you get back to hiding?
Oh, yes, sorry.
So as Alabaster Zero hid in his dungaree bathing suit, Q-Rex really felt fully alone. The sun was going down, and its light reflected off the waters in that blinding way it sometimes does right into the eyes of the mightily grumpy Tyrannosaurus.
Sunbeams in my eyes, an unwelcome surprise. Oh, what Q-Rex should have been wiser and worn a sun visor.
Suddenly, atop his enormous head appeared a sun visor. Q-Rex realized that it was the first day of summer, which of course meant on What If World it was
Sunshine Sea Slime Prime Rhyme Time, a once-a-year occurrence that happens on the first day of summer at the beach, where everything that rhymes comes true.
Until the sun sets, of course.
What was that, Mr. Eric? I was busy thinking of a rhyme that would get me to swim. It's like splashing around meets going to the gym.
Oh, I was saying how sunset is the end of Sunshine Sea Slime. I almost had it.
Sorry, I stopped listening. It's time for me to wish again. I wish I had a fishy fin so I could splish and splash with friends.
And Q-Rex's tail became a mermaid's tail, with fins on his little T-Rex arms, and one on his back, and even a convenient set of gills.
I'm gonna go find Fred and JF Cat, show them all I can swim, and then that will be that.
And Q-Rex, in his half-mermaid form, well, is it possible to be a half-mermaid?
Mini-episode, Mr. Eric!
Right, let's keep moving. He dove into the ocean, looking for all of his friends who were playing hide-and-seek. But he didn't see a single one.
I guess it's not very safe to go hiding in the ocean. They must be back on land slapping on some suntan lotion.
And Q-Rex came up out of the water, and sure enough, everyone was back on the land. But they weren't putting on suntan lotion, even though Q-Rex had rhymed it. You see, the sun was setting, and with it, Q-Rex's mermaid tail, fins, and gills disappeared. So my wish was kinda useless and I'm sinking kinda fast. I gotta stop making excuses and just learn to swim at last. Q-Rex's last line was lost beneath the waves. His comparatively tiny T-Rex arms weren't doing him much good in the water. And there was Shauna Sea Serpent in an instant.
You know, step one of learning how to swim is sticking with a buddy who already knows how.
Do you think that you could be my swim buddy?
I think I already am, Q-Rex.
And as Q-Rex was brought back to shore, all of his friends came to check on him and help him dry off.
As first lessons go, that was pretty much humbling. So now I'll practice with a friend and be less afraid of stumbling.
And that's why you never play hide and seek in the water. No, the lesson's about learning how to swim.
Oh, it's a short story. It doesn't need a lesson. The end.
So the lesson is that not everything needs a lesson.
Exactly, yeah.
Catalia, CJ, and Avery, thank you for your questions, and I hope you all enjoyed your story. Folks, you can subscribe to What If World wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can get nearly 300 ad-free episodes, including bonus monthly content, by going to patreon.com/whatifworld. I'd like to thank Karen O'Keefe, my co-creator, my producer, Miss Lynn, Craig Martinson for our theme song, and all you kids at home for sticking around to listen to the rest of the Kids Listen Summer Sampler. Until we meet again, keep wondering.
What if world? This is What If World.
It's a beautiful day for a story, adventure and glory, new friends and old ones too. It's an excellent day to get swept away in a tale, so let us regale you.
Hi everyone, welcome to Dork Tales Storytime, where I, Jonathan Cormer, and I, Reginald T. Hedgehog, take you into the land of Once Upon a Time to tell you wonderful, wacky tales with important life lessons. Ooh! Tell them about the one where Alice and I taught Wonderland's Queen of Hearts a thing or two. Hey, that's a great idea. Let's jump to where you and Alice challenge her to a game of croquet.
Croquet, you say?
We could play all day.
Let's get the game underway.
Reg volunteered to be the croquet ball, and the queen's cards bent at the middle with their hands and feet on the ground to create the wickets, or the arched hoops you try to get the ball through during the game. We used flamingos as mallets.
And they spoke. Do not worry, my liege, for I will be the greatest mallet with the surest aim. Now, I've seen some things in Once Upon a Time, but this sounds sillier than most of them.
That's Wonderland for ya.
Yes, it was quite a sight to behold. We couldn't stop laughing. And every time the Queen would miss a shot or knock me into one of her cards, she'd take her frustration out on them and shout, "Off to your beds!"
The cards would sulk off with a groan until there were only a few left on the field. And the queen realized she had nobody to be the wickets anymore. It was ridiculous.
And I am sad card.
By this point, the Queen of Hearts was fuming, so much so that her face was as red as her suit. And on her final swing...
You won't believe it!
The flamingo that was her mallet sneezed.
She missed hitting the Reg ball by a mile.
Reg ball.
We thought it was quite hilarious, too, so we cracked up. And the flamingo flew off in a tizzy.
No, 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 I wasn't going. No, 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 I gotta go. No, 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 no. Needless to say, the Queen was there on the croquet field, ready to blow a gasket, about to scream, "Off to your beds!" at everyone that remained.
But Reg stopped rolling around on the ground for a moment and stood up.
Your Majesty, are you planning to finish the croquet game by yourself?
Yes, for as you can see, there are no more wicket cards or flamingo mallets, and our ball is a hedgehog once again.
Oh, dear me.
The Queen took a step back and realized that she no longer had a large crowd to cheer her on or a winning peg to knock the ball into. So then I said, "Your Majesty, you look tired. Perhaps you should have sent yourself to bed and returned when you could play with the team."
Well, I never really considered that.
She saw that her poor sportsmanship and constant demands for perfection were really impacting everyone in her court. We just wanted her to take a moment to think about what it means to be a good team player.
So I looked over to Alice.
And I looked over at Reg.
And we both looked over at the Queen.
Your Majesty, might I make a suggestion?
No! Yes. I suppose so.
Perhaps, just perhaps, it's time you go off to your bed.
Good times, good times. The Queen learned to be a bit kinder that day, and the value of a good nap. So, dear listeners, consider this sampler your invitation to join us over at Dork Tales Storytime. See you there.
So gather your squad for all to see. It's a universe that we've imagined. There's twists and turns and lessons learned. This is where the unexpected happens. Join our humble hosts and hit the trails of the wonderful, wacky, wild world of Dork Tales. La-di-da, la-di-da.
My name is Fina Mendoza. I moved to Washington, D.C. with my older sister Gabby because Papa works in the U.S. Capitol. He's a congressman. Me? I solve mysteries. Sweatshirt. Not on the bench. Not under the bench. Not under the fake Magna Carta. Not under the National Mall. Well, maybe it's under the National Mall, but it's not under the table model of the National Mall. Stop staring at me, Caesar Rodney. Just because you signed the Declaration of Independence doesn't mean you know everything. You're just a stupid statue.
You wouldn't even be in the Capitol crypt after visiting ours, Fina Mendoza, if you hadn't lost your school sweatshirt again.
Who asked you, Caesar Rodney? It has to be here somewhere. What did Mama say every time I lost something? Retrace your steps. Where were you the last time you remember having it? Okay, so I know I was wearing it after school. There were all those crunchy leaves in the park, and I put one in my pocket. Maybe it's up in Papa's Rules Committee room. No, I don't think so. Think, Fina. It's so quiet in here.
What's the matter, Fina Mendoza? Crypt's a little too spooky for you? What are you, a scaredy cat?
I'm not scared, it's just...
Just what? Whatever were you doing in the crypt anyway? The tour groups are long gone.
I came to see the table with the National Mall model, the one with the 2 Washington monuments in the middle.
I see.
You see nothing. You have marble eyes.
I see the real story. You came here because you have no place else to go.
Not true.
Of course it's true. Your sister Gabby has band practice, and your papa says you have to come straight to the Capitol after school until he's finished working. It's not like you can go over to some friend's house after school. You have no friends, do you?
I have friends. Back in Los Angeles.
But not here in Washington, D.C. Poor Fina.
Stop talking to me. Statues don't talk.
Oh, don't they? Are you sure about that?
I need to find my sweatshirt. Shh. I hear something.
Something like a ghost?
Hello? Is somebody there? Why do they turn the lights so low?
Energy conservation? Speaking of ghosts, you know, they were supposed to bury George Washington here, in the crypt, but Martha wanted the president home with her at Mount Vernon. Suppose George wanted to be buried in the crypt. Maybe it's his ghost coming back to haunt you. Maybe he waited until all the tourists were gone and the only person left in the crypt was the little girl who forgot where she left her hoodie.
Shh! What's that shadow? On the wall. It's like a giant question mark. I came for my sweatshirt. Okay, so it's a stupid school sweatshirt. It doesn't really matter. I mean, if it's lost forever, who cares? Oh, sure, Gabby will probably yell at me about being irresponsible, and Papa will make me use my birthday money to buy a new one. Look, I'm sorry. I'll just leave now. Don't!
Could it be the demon cat of Capitol Hill? If you see it, you know you are cursed with bad luck for the rest of your life. Find out on the Fina Mendoza Mysteries, wherever you listen to podcasts.